A lawyer came yesterday. He said, it's my granddaughter's. She said to give it to Abigail. She penetrated her heart. That's all for Abigail, Michael and Amalia. My son has much more.
Carmel, Abigail's grandfather, no longer finds a place for all the gifts he's received from people he doesn't know. The embrace of love and perhaps an attempt to compensate for collective feelings of guilt. How a mischievous girl, only 4 years old, found herself a prisoner of Hamas for 51 days immediately after her parents were murdered. How is the family after Abigail returned?
Very short joy. I thought it would be celebrations and parties and something like that. I think after an hour, we realized it was not that at all. In the end, there are 3 children without parents.
How was Abigail when she came back?
Mostly shocked, from all the faces, from all this happening around her, really shocked. It was also late, and to arrive at the end of the day is to go through a journey. Your removal from the place of the kidnapping and the crossings and the border, and all the time you see the terrorists again, and she just arrived already broken and didn't speak at all for the first hour. She wants to drink grape juice and eat pretzels, mostly requests from someone who suddenly realizes that maybe she's no longer in captivity and can ask.
Abigail didn't approach me, didn't look in my direction, didn't speak. Fine, another day will come, and the kiss and the hug will come.
How did Michael and Amelia, Abigail's siblings, react?
They knew Abigail was in Gaza, and suddenly she came back to them. I think they're feeling joy. There was joy. But it's still not the same. They have a deep sadness.
So it was really one very happy moment that they came together, and now the confrontation. What will happen from here? Time will do its thing.
A month before Abigail's release, we accompanied the families of Smadar and Roy to a family meeting, trying to embrace Michael and Amelia, to give a feeling of family.
Why don't you call me?
Smadal's family are coming here, and our family with Roy's children. We have a meeting with everyone.
First time?
Since it happened, yes.
No one there was able to forget what happened to these children on the Black Sabbath. The unimaginable fact that 9-year-old Michael, 6-year-old Amalia, and 4-year-old Abigail saw their parents murdered before their eyes. When the alarm started, Smadar was with Michael and Amalia in the safe room. Roy, who works as a Ynet photographer, still had time to go out to the balcony with Abigail in his arms to photograph the terrorists approaching the kibbutz on paragliders, infiltrating right in front of the house. You've been with Roy and Smadar's children for the last month?
Yes.
How is it?
Not easy. It's not easy what they saw. It's not easy for them. It's certainly not easy for us. The horrors they saw. I don't know if any of us would have emerged the same from such a situation. Never mind children aged 6 and 9. It's very, very tough.
That Saturday, after their parents were murdered, Abigail ran outside. Michael and Amelia ran back into their house. They hid in the yellow closet, in the safe room, with the body of their mother, Smadar, lying right next to them. For 14 hours they hid, heard gunshots, and waited in the inferno, while the family tried to reassure them from afar.
I picked up the phone to Roy. Roy didn't answer. So that's the agreement between us. If he doesn't answer, he's taking pictures. So I called Smadar to ask what happened. Michael, the 9-year-old grandson, answered. I told him, I want Mom. He said, Mom's dead, and Dad's dead outside. I asked, where's your sister Amalia? He told me, with me. Where's Abigail? He said, she's not at home. In short, a Holocaust. I was completely shocked. I was trying to think of how to help.
How did the children sound in those moments?
Listen, they were just brave. Michael answered the phones at first, then he stopped, and 6-year-old Amalia, she was my contact person. She spoke. I'm in the safe room. Everything is fine. We're in the closet. Don't open the door for anyone. It won't open. They answered yes, and no, and good.
At this time, Michael and Amelia did not know how Abigail was doing. Avichai, the neighbor across the street, was the last to see her before she was kidnapped with Hagar, his wife.
She was white as a sheet, but covered in blood, drenched in blood, and I knew it wasn't her blood. I tossed her over to my wife and went back.
Until 12 o'clock, 1, I was still optimistic, sure, that the army would come and take them out. And we saw it was not happening, and it's not happening, and time was passing and moving on. We were already past midnight, and still, every hour I spoke with them, and I heard that they're already starting. The mood is already dropping, and it's already going to be hard there inside this closet.
And you know they're alone, and no agency can help you. Not the police, not the emergency services, not the IDF, only our connections.
The civilians ran the war.
At 7 in the evening, after I involved a friend, we managed to reach the team located in Kfar Aza.
The military took Michael and Amelia under fire outside the kibbutz, and a meet came to pick them up. How was this meeting?
It was very difficult, very hard. I let a friend drive. I sat in the back with them. Even though they had such a long journey, they didn't fall asleep. They were close to me the whole way and just told me what happened and what will happen and how it will happen. And this was a journey, a difficult journey.
Since they've been with Liron, Smadar's sister, her husband Zuli, and their 3 children who lived right next to them in Kfar Aza.
They will probably stay with us, with the family, with my wife. This is a very natural environment for them. They grew up with these children. Of course, the whole family is involved from all sides. There's everyone's cooperation here, because in the end, there is a common goal, that these children will have the best possible future.
There's deep sadness for Michael, very deep sadness. He knows everything that happened. He was always a loner.
A child who grew up in all these circumstances, a 9-year-old boy, has already gone through more wars than people in the whole world go through.
Amalia is more open, but there's also sadness in her eyes.
How is Abigail?
In her everyday life, when you look at her, she is happy. She's so little, maybe she'll get through it somehow.
Abigail had her 4th birthday in captivity.
Yes, I don't know if she knew that.
Will you mention it?
We did something small, modest, cake and here and there like that, at the simplest level there is, maybe next year.
Do they understand that Roy and Smadar will not return?
Yes, after what they saw, there's no way. It's not ambiguous.
What do they mostly talk about?
Toys one moment, and then about mum and dad, and then they come back and fight about nonsense with the cousins. In the end, they are children. They have happy parts and they have sad parts, and they have difficult parts. I call it a roller coaster. There is a discourse around everything, of what happened, how it happened, and why it happened. I mean, we give them some of the space that we need to vent, and we need crying and we need this. But in the end, we always face forwards.
We'll give them everything they need, that's for sure.
But we won't be able to give them the security.
Let them go abroad, live in a place that will be good for them. I want them to grow up to understand that this is not their country. It's not safe to live in the state of Israel.